CompTIA Cloud Plus Certification Exam Questions Explained. Question 1. The current proposal for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform has a drawback: self-managed virtual machines would add patching and runtime administration. The team still needs to deploy application code without maintaining operating systems or middleware. Which cloud model should replace the proposal? Option A, private cloud. Option B, platform as a service. Option C, multi-cloud. Option D, software as a service. The correct answer is option B, platform as a service. A managed application platform abstracts the runtime and underlying host maintenance so developers can concentrate on code and data. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. A nearby concept would leave the central requirement unresolved even though it could improve another part of the environment. Question 2. Engineers reviewing Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: redundant components and automatic failover reduce interruption from individual component failures. Which architecture pattern does this description identify? Option A, a fault tolerance. Option B, high availability. Option C, cloud bursting. Option D, a vertical scaling. The correct answer is option B, high availability. The described behavior supports the requirement to eliminate avoidable single points of failure within the service design. For the fleet tracking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, a single instance design would not meet the uptime requirement. Question 3. During release planning for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, engineers are instructed to replace deployed instances instead of changing them in place. Which compute architecture should be implemented? Option A, immutable infrastructure. Option B, container orchestration. Option C, microservices architecture. Option D, virtual machines. The correct answer is option A, immutable infrastructure. Rebuilding from a controlled image creates consistent environments and reduces configuration drift. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. A different choice would be weaker because manual and place changes would make instances diverge over time. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A proposed design for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform will be approved only if it can share hierarchical files through standard network file protocols. Which data-service choice satisfies that condition? Option A, content delivery network. Option B, NoSQL database. Option C, file storage. Option D, archive storage. The correct answer is option C, file storage. A managed shared file system supports concurrent directory-based access by multiple clients. For the fleet tracking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, independent block volumes would not provide a common namespace. Question 5. The current proposal for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform has a drawback: assigning direct public reachability would increase the attack surface. The team still needs to isolate internal resources from direct inbound internet routing. Which network architecture should replace the proposal? Option A, a network address translation gateway. Option B, a virtual private network. Option C, network peering. Option D, private subnet. The correct answer is option D, private subnet. An internal subnet limits exposure while allowing controlled outbound or service to service communication. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. The decision depends on the stated constraint rather than on selecting the most broadly familiar cloud technology. Question 6. Horizon Logistics is preparing an update to its fleet tracking platform and needs to recover data from protected copies after loss or corruption. Which recovery design is the strongest choice? Option A, multi-region deployment. Option B, backup and restore. Option C, pilot light. Option D, hot standby. The correct answer is option B, backup and restore. Independent copies provide a recovery point, although restoration time depends on data volume and process maturity. The design decision fits the fleet tracking platform because it targets the exact availability, security, deployment, or operational need described. By contrast, relying only on live production data would not protect against deletion or corruption. Question 7. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, the team must rank services by operational impact and recovery need. It also wants to avoid a design where treating every workload equally would misallocate resilience spending. Which planning decision offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, business impact analysis. Option B, proof of concept. Option C, resource tagging strategy. Option D, dependency mapping. The correct answer is option A, business impact analysis. Impact analysis connects technical recovery priorities to financial, safety, and service consequences. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the fleet tracking platform's stated operating condition. The decision depends on the stated constraint rather than on selecting the most broadly familiar cloud technology. Question 8. Architects supporting Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform need the solution to configure a newly created instance during its first startup. Which provisioning practice should they choose? Option A, modular infrastructure code. Option B, bootstrap script. Option C, idempotent automation. Option D, golden image. The correct answer is option B, bootstrap script. Initialization automation installs packages and applies settings without maintaining a unique image for every small change. Applied within Horizon Logistics' environment, the approach resolves the central constraint without expanding the solution beyond its purpose. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that manual post-provisioning work would slow scale-out and create variation. Are you looking for CompTIA exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access CompTIA exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get CompTIA exam answer key today. Question 9. Engineers reviewing Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: targeted platform improvements gain operational benefits without a complete application redesign. Which migration approach does this description identify? Option A, phased migration. Option B, retain. Option C, replatform. Option D, refactor. The correct answer is option C, replatform. The described behavior supports the requirement to make limited changes to use managed cloud capabilities. The requirement is satisfied by matching the cloud capability to the fleet tracking platform's stated operating condition. A different choice would be weaker because moving unchanged would miss straightforward managed minus service advantages. Question 10. A production minus readiness review for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform requires the team to verify essential functions immediately after deployment. Which release practice belongs in the plan? Option A, smoke test. Option B, performance test. Option C, rollback plan. Option D, a canary deployment. The correct answer is option A, smoke test. A focused post-release check quickly confirms that critical paths are available before broader validation. The choice is appropriate for Horizon Logistics because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The main risk of choosing a different approach is that waiting for user complaints would delay detection of a broken release. Question 11. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, the team must automatically transition or delete stored objects according to age. It also wants to avoid a design where keeping every object indefinitely in one tier would ignore lifecycle requirements. Which configuration choice offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, separate production account. Option B, security group. Option C, lifecycle policy. Option D, managed identity. The correct answer is option C, lifecycle policy. Policy-driven data movement reduces cost and enforces retention without manual handling. The proposed use aligns with the workload constraint and supports a defensible vendor-neutral cloud decision. Other options may be useful elsewhere, yet they do not provide the capability emphasized by this scenario. Question 12. The current proposal for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform has a drawback: post-level metrics cannot show the complete path of a single request. The team still needs to follow one request across multiple services. Which observability method should replace the proposal? Option A, synthetic monitoring. Option B, baseline analysis. Option C, distributed tracing. Option D, health check. The correct answer is option C, distributed tracing. Trace context exposes latency and failure across service boundaries in a microservices workflow. The choice is appropriate for Horizon Logistics because it acts on the requirement identified in the scenario, not merely on a related concern. The alternatives solve adjacent design or operational problems instead of the specific issue identified here. Question 13. Engineers reviewing Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform describe the intended behavior as follows: direct allocation creates financial accountability and can influence resource behavior. Which optimization action does this description identify? Option A, chargeback. Option B, showback. Option C, reserved capacity. Option D, right-sizing. The correct answer is option A, chargeback. The described behavior supports the requirement to bill business units directly for their measured cloud consumption. The proposed use aligns with the workload constraint and supports a defensible vendor-neutral cloud decision. Conversely, a shared unallocated bill would hide which teams drive cost. Question 14. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, the team must regularly prove that protected data can be recovered. It also wants to avoid a design where assuming success from job status alone could leave an undiscovered recovery failure. Which recovery operation offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, immutable backup. Option B, incremental backup. Option C, cross-region replication. Option D, restore testing. The correct answer is option D, restore testing. A completed backup job does not guarantee usability, so controlled restoration validates media, permissions, and procedures. Applied within Horizon Logistics' environment, the approach resolves the central constraint without expanding the solution beyond its purpose. The alternatives solve adjacent design or operational problems instead of the specific issue identified here. Question 15. The design brief for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform states that the environment must replace expiring certificates before service interruption. Which operational practice best meets the brief? Option A, runbook. Option B, change record. Option C, key rotation procedure. Option D, a certificate renewal automation. The correct answer is option D, certificate renewal automation. Automated tracking and renewal reduce outages caused by overlooked expiration dates. The proposed use aligns with the workload constraint and supports a defensible vendor-neutral cloud decision. Conversely, manual calendar reliance can miss short-lived or numerous certificates. Question 16. The current proposal for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform has a drawback: shared personal credentials would weaken accountability and continuity. The team still needs to provide a non-human identity for an automated workload. Which identity control should replace the proposal? Option A, attribute-based access control. Option B, service account. Option C, access review. Option D, single sign-on. The correct answer is option B, service account. Workload-specific identity supports scoped permissions and auditing without using an employee account. The scenario calls for this capability because the fleet tracking platform depends on the specified behavior rather than a general cloud feature. A nearby concept would leave the central requirement unresolved even though it could improve another part of the environment. Question 17. Prior to expanding Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, administrators must protect stored data against unauthorized media or storage access. Which protection control should they use? Option A, key rotation. Option B, secrets manager. Option C, customer-managed key. Option D, encryption at rest. The correct answer is option D, encryption at rest. Storage-layer cryptography reduces exposure if disks, snapshots, or underlying media are accessed improperly. This approach gives Horizon Logistics the required behavior while keeping the implementation aligned with the workload's actual demand. Conversely, transport protection ends when the data reaches storage. Question 18. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, the team must reach a managed service through an internal provider network address. It also wants to avoid a design where an internet-facing endpoint would create unnecessary reachability. Which network security control offers the most appropriate balance? Option A, private endpoint. Option B, a zero-trust access. Option C, distributed denial-of-service protection. Option D, intrusion prevention system. The correct answer is option A, private endpoint. Private service access avoids public exposure and supports tighter routing and policy controls. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. A nearby concept would leave the central requirement unresolved even though it could improve another part of the environment. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A proposed design for Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform will be approved only if it can express governance rules in machine-enforceable definitions. Which governance control satisfies that condition? Option A, legal hold. Option B, a data classification. Option C, policy as code. Option D, a data loss prevention. The correct answer is option C, policy as code. Automated evaluation catches prohibited configurations consistently during deployment and operation. The design decision fits the fleet tracking platform because it targets the exact availability, security, deployment, or operational need described. By contrast, manual review alone may be slow and inconsistent at cloud scale. Question 20. Engineers reviewing Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform describe the intended behavior as follows. Central correlation can reveal multi-stage activity that isolated logs do not show clearly. Which security response does this description identify? Option A, a threat intelligence integration. Option B, incident containment. Option C, security information and event management. Option D, root-cause remediation. The correct answer is option C, security information and event management. The described behavior supports the requirement to correlate security events from many sources in one analytical platform. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. The nearby alternatives are less suitable because reviewing each system independently would slow detection. Question 21. Horizon Logistics is preparing an update to its fleet tracking platform and needs to store versioned build outputs used by later deployment stages. Which DevOps practice is the strongest choice? Option A, feature branch. Option B, pipeline approval gate. Option C, continuous integration. Option D, artifact repository. The correct answer is option D, artifact repository. A controlled repository makes releases reproducible and avoids rebuilding different binaries for each environment. For the fleet tracking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, copying files from developer workstations would weaken traceability. Question 22. For its fleet tracking platform, Horizon Logistics wants to define the desired resource state in version-controlled files. Which automation practice is most appropriate? Option A, declarative infrastructure as code. Option B, secrets injection. Option C, API-driven automation. Option D, a configuration management. The correct answer is option A, declarative infrastructure as code. Desired -state automation supports repeatability, review, and consistent reconciliation across environments. In this scenario, the capability addresses the immediate design objective and avoids solving a different problem. The nearby alternatives are less suitable because manual console changes are difficult to reproduce and audit. Question 23. The initial review of Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform is complete, and the next objective is to evaluate subnet-level stateless filtering in both directions. Which troubleshooting action is most appropriate? Option A, check address exhaustion. Option B, a validate load-balancer health checks. Option C, a verify effective routes. Option D, inspect network access-control rules. The correct answer is option D, inspect network access-control rules. Stateless controls require explicit inbound and outbound allowance, including return traffic as applicable. For the fleet tracking platform, the governing factor is the requested behavior, and this approach provides it directly. By contrast, checking only a stateful resource rule could miss the subnet policy. Question 24. The initial review of Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform is complete, and the next objective is to determine whether provider limits are blocking resource creation or throughput. Which diagnostic action is most appropriate? Option A, check memory pressure. Option B, check service quota. Option C, compare with performance baseline. Option D, review autoscaling policy. The correct answer is option B, check service quota. Account and regional quotas can cause failures even when the template and permissions are valid. For Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform, that capability maps directly to the stated technical requirement. A different choice would be weaker because retrying unchanged requests will continue to hit the limit. Question 25. Users report a problem with Horizon Logistics' fleet tracking platform. The team needs to confirm that the token, secret, or certificate remains valid. After confirming the scope, which corrective action should be performed next? Option A, a validate template syntax. Option B, to examine pipeline logs. Option C, a verify secrets retrieval permission. Option D, check credential expiration. The correct answer is option D, check credential expiration. Expired authentication material commonly causes sudden access failures without any resource configuration change. The design decision fits the fleet tracking platform because it targets the exact availability, security, deployment, or operational need described. By contrast, adding permissions would not renew invalid credentials.